Welcome to this beautiful tutorial. This is what we're going to be making, and this design has a waist seam, so we're going to be drafting the skirt and the top separately. Please kindly stay to the end. Now I'm going to be starting with the skirt. I will mark from my waistline to my hip line and to the length of the skirt. And at the waistline, I'm going to divide my waist by 4, divide the hip by 4 and mark. And then at the hem of the skirt, I'm going to be subtracting 2 inches from the hip measurement to shapen the skirt. Okay, so I'm going to shape it. Now just note that this is a miniature pattern that I'm using, a measurement that is quite small, so everything I'll be saying might not correspond to what I'll be marking. I mean the measurement. Okay, so at the waistline I'm going to come down by 1 inch so as to eliminate any form of bulge at the waistline. So this is for the front skirt pattern. Now I've cut and placed on the back, marking out my zipper allowance, right? Now if you're using a stretchy fabric, you might not need that intake, okay? Now at the waistline, I'm going to minus 0.25 from the length of the skirt. That is to eliminate zipper bulge at the back. So like I said, if the fabric is stretchy, we're not going to be using that intake. Okay, so I'll cut. Now I forgot to record this part. I've already marked. This is the design we're looking for. Now for the side, from the side of the skirt, this is what we're marking from the waistline, and then 2 inches from there, and we mark it down from the side of the skirt pattern. Okay, the same thing goes to the back. From the side of the skirt pattern, we're going to mark, slant it this way towards the CB, and then use our curve to trace out 2 inches for the design, which is going to be cut out and another fabric used to replace it. This is from the side of the pattern. Okay, now for the upper part, we're going to draft a basic pattern, half scale basic pattern, right? Neckline 3 inches by 3 inches, just so the neckline is high, and then our shoulder measurement, we're going to slant by 1.5 inches. All right, so I'm going to be marking my bust divide by 4 and the waist divide by 4, and I'm going to mark bust span divide by 2, and from at the waistline we're going to take ½ inch on both sides for our darts. You can decide to increase the dart intake if you want it to be snatched more, and then come up by 1.5 inch to get your armhole depth and rule it. Now whatever we have at the waist dart, we're going to replace it and connect to a bust line and to the armhole line. Okay, connect the shoulder line on a straight line and then curve the armhole. This is just the basic bodice. Now to alter the design, the neckline was quite deep, so I had to increase it because of the miniature. We're going to mark our bust dart. That is the difference between the back and the front length. Now from the midpoint of the shoulder, connect to the waist dart at the bust point. We're going to slant the shoulder open or slit the shoulder open and then close the bust dart. This is to tighten our bust and connect it to the armhole princess dart. So whatever measurement I have, I'm going to divide by 4. Whatever answer it gives me, I'm going to mark it this way and connect it to the bust point. This is called the subtraction method. And then whatever I have, I'm going to replace it after the armhole line. I'm going to replace it, whatever it is that I marked, so we don't run shortage. So I'll open up the bust dart again and close this, overlapping it to the new markings that I have. I hope you understand. Okay, and then tape it down. So once that is done, I will align the measurements, align the shoulder. Then I will mark the line for my armhole princess dart. You can see the way I marked wherever I want it to be, and then curve the bust point so that it doesn't have pointy marks. All right. So the next is for us to cut out the excess and close um, our bust darts. That is when we have opened the armhole princess dart. We close the bust dart, so transfer the dart to the armhole. I'm cutting two papers at once, that's why it's shifting. So I'll tape the bust dart down. You can see that the dart has transferred to the armhole. So for the keyhole at the shoulder, I'll mark a midpoint. And from that midpoint, I'm going to mark on both sides how much opening that I want. And then the length of the opening that I want. You can see what is in the picture to know the length of the opening that corresponds to it. And then I'll curve towards the two sides. This is the part that will go out entirely. Okay, this part is going out entirely. Now I'm going to mark another line too, which is where we're going to have the white fabric. That is going to be starting from the tip of the shoulder, but for the part on the neckline, I will not be starting from the tip of the shoulder. You can decide to start from the tip of the neckline, but I did not start from the tip of the neckline. Then mark the length that you want and connect it. Did I start from the tip of the shoulder? Whichever way. Okay, so this is what we've got, and this is the part that will be replaced with the white fabric to give it the design. Now the sleeve is going to be starting after the white fabric, and that's where we have making it look like it's falling down. Okay, like I said before, I did not start from the tip of the neckline. Okay, so I'm going to cut the darts out. You can see the way it is, and then we'll cut the neckline as well, and we'll cut the parts that will going out entirely, and we'll also cut out the parts that will be replaced with the white fabric. So this is going to be cut with the white fabric, while others, when after cutting, we marking a balanced line so that we know where to fix it. Okay, so this is how you're going to replace it after you've cut with the fabric. In the next class, we're going to be sewing this using the measurements that we marked in this video. That is the miniature measurement. So I'm trying to tape it down using a masking tape. And this part also will be cut out on the skirt and replaced with white fabric. This is for the front, so I'm going to tape it down. That is after joining. Now this is the back. Okay, the back is just what it is, a basic back. The difference is the neckline. So I'll mark the length of the neckline that I want, and I'll connect from the neck point to where the length is. Now different from my zipper, you can see the zipper allowance. So I'll cut it out like so, and this is what we have. So I'll put it together with the front so that we'll measure the size of the neckline that we have there, and this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so we're going to measure the roundness of the neckline so that we'll know how much we're going to cut for the strap, the collar. So assuming this is my fabric, I'm going to cut in a bias form from the midpoint of the paper. You can see in a bias form. So I'll fold it into two like this. Now after folding it into two, I'm now going to take the size of the collar. I marked 2 inches because it's going to fold up, right? So I marked 2 inches. Now the length of this collar is going to be the neck measurement that we measure plus extra that will go out after joining at the zipper area. You can use this to slant the tip, but we'll see how it was done. So like I said before, measure the neckline both back and front, and then the extra V that will be extended after the back neckline. And so I have 15 inches. I'm going to be cutting it out like this. After cutting, I'll fold the strap into two. I'll measure the 15 inches, which is divided by 2, and wherever it stops, from there I'm now going to slant what is remaining. But if you have excess fabric, you can determine what is remaining or how much length you want. So I'll cut it this way. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be fixing to my neckline. I'll put the shoulders together, and then we're going to put the collar starting from the inside. You sew it and then turn it outside, and that is how simple and easy it's gonna be. You can see the way it's extended, so beautiful. Thank you for watching, and this is the part we're going to be sewing this proper in the next video. Okay, you can see the keyhole. All right, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.